we are going to turn it over to our first guest here today. We have Ellen from Door County Medical Center, and she's going to give a presentation on telehealth services.
Thank you, Sam. Hi, I'm Ellen LeClaire from Door County Medical Center. I'm the Director of Health Information Management and the Privacy Officer there. Our department is charged with the patient experience with the patient portal. So we assist with the setup, any questions you have. If you're logged out of the patient portal and you need help getting a password reset, really we're there to help with any issues that you may have or any questions. So I'm going to go through a little PowerPoint. I just have a couple of slides here to share on that. I'll share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to log off here so I can really take you through the whole thing here. So, okay, when you go to our website, Door County Medical Center, we'll go back even one more here. Sorry, I was testing it out this morning. We have a troubleshooting one. Since patient health information is involved with a patient portal, we have a test that I can show everybody so there's no confidentiality issues. My daughter has been added, and then our portal lead, Wendy, who is not here right now, but if you would call in, Wendy is probably the person that would be taking care of you. Her daughter was added as well, just so we were able to kind of go through some of this stuff. So this is our main website here. Right at the top, it says patient portal. So that's where you would access it if you're accessing it through a desktop. I'm ready to sign in. So this is the sign in area. Sometimes we have a little message here just letting you know about any updates that are happening, you know, any major news that we need to share regarding the portal. So you can always kind of check that out. We have our office hours, which is Monday through Friday, 7 to 4. Right now, currently, our announcement is letting you know that our online payment through the patient portal is currently not working. They're working very hard to get that back up and running, but we do have an alternative. So you could just copy and paste that into your browser and handle your bill that way. A little announcement on behavioral health services and some other options. So there's always some good information in there. If you come all the way down, we have some helpful resources. These are all links that you can click on. Okay, so if you were looking for like a virtual care option, you're able to access that through the portal. It has some information. Would you like to start a visit, learn more, that type of thing? Okay, so up here, these tiles will really help you with the most of the information that you'll be looking for. You're able to message your providers. That's a really big one. I know that I enjoy. I like to be able to send my provider a message if I'm mostly for my children. I have 4 children, so my children and my husband are on my portal as well. And we'll go through that in a minute. But I like to be able to message the pediatricians and say, you know, my Harvey is sick. He's my youngest one. Harvey's sick. He's having these issues. What do you advise? Should he come in for a visit? Should he go to urgent care? Is there something else I should be trying at home? They're able to communicate back to me, and it's really, really slick. They communicate very effectively that way. I think it's easier for them to be able to talk to you as a patient instead of doing the whole phone tag thing. So the messaging is really wonderful. I'll go in here and just kind of show you what it looks like. You can go right here and say send message. Providers that you have seen will be in this drop down. So you can take a look at any of these here. You know, Dr. Fogarty is her primary care. Enter a subject, write the message that you'd like to send, you send it, she gets it, her nurse gets it, they're able to communicate on it and send something back. You'll always get a little message in your email letting you know that there's something new in your portal that alerts you, and you're able to click on that. That link will take you to the portal login page as well. So you can access it either way. You know, sometimes just checking your email is more of a preference and just being able to look there when there's new items. Maybe you just like to browse every once in a while by going in on your desktop and seeing what's on there. Either way. Any questions?
And I mean, you can have the app on your phone so you can access it if you're traveling and still send messages.
You can, yeah, the app is really great. Right now we're kind of in transition. We use mHealth as our app currently. However, we are building one in-house, the IT department is, so that's really exciting, and that'll be coming out this spring sometime, but you'll be able to access your portal on there as well. And it'll actually look like this, the web version. The mHealth one that we use currently is set up a little bit differently. So sometimes it can be a challenge when we're on the phone discussing it with a patient. It looks a little different. So if we're saying, go to your left, there's a little box to click, or go to your right, or scroll down. It'll be much easier to communicate that with the patient on the phone when we're having those conversations. But yes, there is an app. So currently mHealth is something that you can download and access. Our Facebook page, our Instagram page, they do a really good job of putting out information when there is something new that we're offering at Door County Medical Center. So when that new app comes, I'm sure they'll be sharing that information as soon as it's available to the community. Okay. You're able to print as well on here. You're able to print and download too. So if you have any information that you would like to print off or have for yourself, that's an option as well. We'll go into the health record here. This is all the information related to the health part of the portal. So any allergies, medications, conditions. You can go up here to these options, look at visit history. You can see everything that she's been in for, dates of service, where she was seen. Results will give you test results for any labs that were done. You can go in a little bit. You can go in a little bit more detailed here and get some information. There's a little information blurb here. Sometimes there isn't more information on it. It just kind of depends on the lab test, but it does let you know that it was performed at our lab. Medications, which we also have over here. Allergies and conditions. See, reports, kind of an interesting one. So I can go into her pediatric visit that she recently had. Just a minute here. And this is just like what you would get if you requested your records in paper form from us through Health Information Management. Okay. So, yep, this is just like the reports that would be printed off for you. It has all the information for reason for a visit, any kind of medications, medical history, that sort of thing. So it just goes through all of that information here. You're able to, again, print or save that. So all that's available here. We do have a documents tab. That's a little bit of a newer one. Under the documents tab, some of you may have gotten emails recently that asked you about power of attorney. Do you have a power of attorney? Are you interested in one? So that's been a big effort here at Door County Medical Center to get those on file. I believe those are under, they're a little bit tricky to find, I will say. She won't have one, but I think it's under reports. So I guess this isn't a very good example because she doesn't have any documents except for this one. But if you use these arrows here, it does give you more options and you're able to click on these areas up here and kind of see what might be in there for you. Any questions so far? No? Okay. All right, so kind of just goes down here. There's all sorts of different immunizations, things that you're able to take a look at. We'll go back to the home. Again, appointments coming up. She doesn't have anything scheduled, but if she did, we would see that down here. You can also schedule an appointment or virtual visit. Just select which kind of request you're looking for, which location, that sort of thing. Kind of go through the steps there. I'm going to cancel it. One thing on this portal is that you don't want to use the back button too much. There's sometimes that it allows you to do that, but if you can just click home or previous page, that's a little bit easier. And again, billing information, you're not able to use that currently, but we do typically offer that. A big one here I will go over is change person. So like I said before, you can add your family members, you can add a spouse, children, maybe you're a caregiver and that's an arrangement that would be easier for the care that you give. It has to be authorized by both individuals. So, we just want you to sign a form. We're able to keep that on file, noting that that's all right to share the information. So right here is where that happens. This is my coworker's daughter. So you just click that change person. It's all one login, one password, it's under the same information. So you just hit change person and it flips, and now Caitlin's information is up in front of you. So that's really great, especially for spouses or family members. Like I said, I have my 4 kids and my husband on there. I can check out when their upcoming appointments are, message, on their behalf. So down here, I think I saw she does have an upcoming appointment. So that also kind of shows on the main page, upcoming appointments.
How do you add the additional family members to your portal?
Good question. We're able to help with that. You can just give us a call. Otherwise, you can send an email message. But we're able to, if you just give us a quick call, we're able to add them on there. If they are older than 12, there is a law that if they're older than 12, they actually are allowed to have their own portal. And once they're 12, they fall off of their parents' account, and we have to add them back on with the child's permission. It's a little bit of a gray area. I know I have a 13-year-old, so it's a little challenging. He certainly wouldn't be using his own portal or probably have any desire to, and he still wants me to set up his appointments, of course, and be involved in his healthcare. But it is just one of those things that we kind of have to work around. It doesn't seem to be too much of a challenge, but we just, need to make sure that we follow those guidelines. But yeah, it's really a wonderful service to be able to add those people on there. I don't think there's a limit. We've had several large families sign up. I don't think we've ever run into a problem with how many are offered, how many slots are offered to add for family members. But again, you just go up there, you can toggle back and forth. And that one email address will link to all of these family members. So if something shows up for a different family member, like a lab result or something, the message will go to that same email. So it's easy to manage in that manner as well. I think that's kind of the gist of our portal and what we have to offer. Any questions at all? Does anyone use the portal here? Awesome, great to see. Yeah, I know it's pretty great. I enjoy it for managing healthcare. We're always trying to make every effort to add new things on the portal, everything that might be pertinent and helpful in your healthcare needs. We're always trying to add that. We have several meetings and gatherings to try and brainstorm what could be helpful to our patients. So
I think it's helpful to pre-register for your appointments. So when you go in, you can say hi and.
Yeah, that's another area that's really great too. Yes, pre-registering any questionnaires that you are required to put, to have available for that appointment. That's on here as well. Yeah, very good point. That is very helpful. Cuts down on your time waiting, right? Yeah, yeah.
I find when I do a lab test and then have an appointment, I always look at the results, and then I'm ready to talk to the doctor about them. And you can also see certain results and see if you're doing better than before, or not as well. And
Yes.
it's extremely helpful.
That's great to hear. Yes, that is something that's a little bit new, is that results go to the flow to the portal immediately when they are ready, which does mean that sometimes you might see a result before a provider has had the chance to talk with you. But I like your perspective on being prepared to be able to discuss and maybe have that those thoughts beforehand on any questions you may have or next steps.
Yeah, and I'm being a reference librarian, I always have to research everything.
Sure.
It actually means.
That's great.
I don't know.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's nice to see, you're right, over time to be able to compare where was I at maybe last year if this is something I have annually.
I like that because sometimes in the appointment, I don't know what the numbers mean, but if I can see like if things have changed over time, that helps.
And they give an average or.
Right, to give that range of what's
Right.
normal
what's
or,
normal,
yeah,
which is really nice.
it is helpful.
I will say I was on the portal yesterday. We had an insurance snafu at the turn of the year. So I had to get some documentation and that was very easy to go on and find what I needed on there.
Oh,
So
that's good.
that was handy to have.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. I find myself using it more and more, just to be able to have things right at my fingertips, be able to log on. And again, yes, on the phone too, the app is wonderful to have, especially if you are traveling. Maybe you're out of the state, maybe you're on vacation and you need access to your healthcare records at Door County Medical Center. We're always happy to help on our end in HIM, Health Information Management, if you ever need anything additional, but really the bulk of what you would need is available on the portal.
Is there an insurance portion or a way that you can, like if your insurance changed, that you can access that or update it or?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if that is housed here on the portal.
When you do the pre-registration, it goes through that and
That's
asks
correct.
you if you
It
have,
does.
any
Any
change
changes.
cards, and you have to have pictures of your cards and things.
That's right. That is on that portion. So it must have something that flows then to the system. But I'm not sure if it's outside of that, if you don't have a visit coming up and you're not going through that process. That's a really great question. Let's see if I can find out about that.
And is there like a way that if there is stuff insurance related, you can see? I mean, I know on my end with my insurance, I can see things that have cleared or anything, but is there any way to like check on? Like if things can be authorized through insurance, what you have and things like that, like. Just to see if your visit, like certain visits, what they're covered, what's not, things like that with insurance?
Good question. I'll find out for you. That I'm not sure. That's getting a little bit more over into our patient financial service area.
Right.
And we certainly overlap. But those are good questions that I can take back and ask them. And if it's not something we have, maybe it's something to look into.
And my guess is you go to the insurance company and ask them.
Right,
By
which I have, yeah, and I have like 3 apps.
Yeah.
Right. But as it pertains to your care at Door County
At Door
Medical
County
Center,
Medical, yeah,
that might be
exactly.
a good option.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. And it might be available, more in the billing area, but again, that's a little bit farther out of my scope, so I'll find out if that is
Anything that makes
available.
it easier than picking up the phone and sitting on there
Yes.
for like 2 hours to ask a question.
I understand.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yep. Any other thoughts or questions, suggestions? We're always open to suggestions as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ellen. That was very informative.
Good, good. Okay.
All right. And no one else has any questions or comments?
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
I was just going to make a comment that, as a new resident, I haven't been at Door County Medical Center and I haven't been on their portal, but so it's very similar to I've been on to other portals.
Right,
And all of the features that you showed are common. I just want to make that point so everyone is aware that your presentation, though it's specific to Door County Medical Center, is representative of other medical providers' portals.
that's great to hear too, because it does help a little bit, right? If you're at different facilities and oftentimes we do refer out, so you may be dealing with other facilities in Green Bay. So yeah, it's helpful if it's a little bit similar. Yeah.
So what I was gonna say, that's my wife, Joanne. We moved here recently and we're going through this transition of changing medical, and it is not easy. I needed, I thought 2 specific medicines that are high cost, and the insurance case said, well, we don't know if we should approve that, or do you really need that? And I went and sat down, and here's why we're all here, it's broadband. So I went and sat down and went to my old medical portal, similar to this, and there was a button there that says, all your medical records. I said, that's what I need, so I clicked it. 10 minutes later, it's still going. Now, that's on their end, putting the records together. And where the broadband becomes important is it said, okay, we're ready to download. I downloaded over 1,000 pages, something like over 50 meg, but it took longer than it should. Or if we had better broadband, it would have been there. Because after I got that, then I had to go through it, and I had a program that allowed me to go through it and find what I want, cut those pages out, send it to the insurance company, and it says, oh, we can approve your medicine now. But all of that was done based on broadband and not having to go to these different institutions to show this paperwork. So when it came up about broadband here in Bailey's Harbor, we're new, and I think I said it before, I told my wife, I'm not moving to any place that doesn't have broadband. And here I am. If I'm here, there's no reason to come here and complain. I got to meet Sam and Kurt and all these and contribute. And if you've got a little expertise to help, or even if you don't, just say, you know, what can I do to help? And we'll find something. But broadband is so important and so convenient for you. It's not just playing games or watching TV. It's got very practical purposes that, in my case, save hours or days. And in some cases, getting that information to who needs it, when they need it, can be a significant. Let's go out a little bit. You know, I'm suffering and I really need this information to give to my medical provider so they can do something. Broadband is the way to get it. You don't get in your car, you don't travel. Broadband is the way to do it. And that's why I'm here.
I have a question for Ellen. Someone mentioned earlier, it's the beginning of a new year. You have maybe different insurance coverages, different cards. So now you're responding to an appointment that you go online and you confirm your appointment. Now they're asking for, has your insurance changed from what we have on record to what is current? And if the answer is yes, you have to provide that new information and then somehow upload a copy of your insurance cards, both sides. At this point, do you recommend we call the billing department and say, how do you do this? Or how do you make the change? I'm looking for what's the next step? Because
Sure.
I don't know how to upload my insurance card to be able to accommodate their request.
Sure. Yep, you can absolutely give us a call. It's something that you could also do when you come in for your appointment. I know it might take an extra few minutes, but if it's something that you're, you know, unable to accomplish on the computer in that step, you're able to just, I think you can bypass that portion and bring the physical cards into your appointment. So
if it's an appointment in Green Bay, that's supposed to be the first time ever for me, video conference with the provider, I'm not going to Green Bay. It's going to be, you know, this appointment on this date and time, remote, correct?
Okay, a remote visit, okay. Yep, I think then the option there would probably be to maybe take a picture with your phone, that might be an option, and then send that to your email, and then be able to upload it from there, have it on your computer. Or if you're using the app, then I think you can just grab it from your photos. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of speculating and thinking, how would I do this? Because I have not done that.
I have
you maybe done
many
that? Okay.
times, and that's
Okay.
exactly what I do.
Take a picture.
Picture
Okay.
with my phone. If you use Google, it's really easy because you can adjust and crop it and everything and then send it to Google Photos, which is an app on your phone if you're using Android, but I'm sure the iPhones have the same.
Yeah.
And then you just upload that to your account and you usually have to do both sides.
If you have a scanner, you can do it that way too.
There you go.
Absolutely.
But everyone uses phones these days. I mean, I work in the history room and they're all taking pictures of books and this, you know, all the time these days. Phones are really handy.
They are. It's true.
Thank
Does that help? Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Anyone else have any questions or comments at this point?
And I will stick around a little bit after if anyone would like to set up a portal. I can help you with that as well today. It just takes a few minutes that I'd be able to send the email link to you. So if anyone is interested, or I can answer other questions as well that you may be thinking of during the other presentations.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ellen.
Yes, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And we are going to turn it over to our wonderful representatives from the library services to talk to us about all kinds of wonderful things here.
And I'm Laura Kaikon from Sturgeon Bay Library, the Adult Services Librarian. And
I'm Tracy, many of you know me from upstairs at the Bailey's Harbor Library. So if you have specific questions, I'll be at the desk noon to 7 later.
And if you happen to be in Sturgeon Bay, I sit normally by the big window. And I love to help people with ebook questions and apps and all that sort of thing. That's my favorite thing. So let me share my screen. We're going to run through quickly some of the special. Let's see, do we have permission to share? Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
I made a quick PowerPoint in order to have the links here. Whoops, of our. Now I'm already at the wrong place. Let's start over from the beginning. There we go. So, I have the links here for some of the resources that we came up with in Sturgeon Bay, that the library provides. And one thing, of course, is our InfoSoup catalog, which many of you maybe have used.
Yes.
And you can put holds on books here and, do all sorts of work, finding things in the libraries. This way you can, if we don't have a book in Bailey's Harbor, you can have it sent over, to the library here from anywhere in the 50 libraries that are part of our system. So that's one of the things that is very helpful. And let's see, how do I get back to my Zoom? I try to be good at technology, but let's see. There we go. So besides the library website, we have a lot of resources on the library website. For example, community resources. It's made up of a bunch of community groups that will that have chosen the links that they're adding there. So it has to do with housing and education and health resources. All sorts of community resources are listed there. And as I say, it's not made by the librarians, it's made by all the people who specialize in those areas. We also have a lot of tax information. And this is especially important because a lot of taxes have to be done these days. They want you to do them online. They're pretty stingy about sending out tax forms. But we have a tax page here too, and we always update it. So if you need help, there are a couple places where you can get free help in Door County directly, the ADRC, and then the Crest Pavilion takes appointments also. And then another really nice thing you can do is have tax forms delivered to your home. And those links are on the library website. So you can, it used to be you had to wait for hours, as someone mentioned on the phone, but you can fill out a little form and have them mailed directly to you, and you don't have to fool around with talking to anyone. And that's all done with the computer and broadband. So that's one really helpful thing. Let's see. How do I get back again? I did this right. Okay, and then as I say, in each library we have a printer. It's now connected to internet, and if you're sitting at home and you want to print some sort of form or a coupon or something, you can send it from your home to the library, whichever branch you want, through the library website. And then when you go into the library, you just put in your money and pick up your form. So that's really helpful for a lot of people. People come in for a trip, lists and all sorts of things. You wouldn't believe it these days. So another important thing that we do in the library is programs, and a large number of the programs are now done as either hybrid or on Zoom. During COVID, they were all done on Zoom, of course, but now we call them hybrid, meaning you can come into the library, but you can also watch online. So I do a regular book group. I did it yesterday, the multicultural book group, and a lot of our people go to Florida in the winter, and they just love being able to join their friends on Zoom with the people who are still in Sturgeon Bay or Door County. So that's one thing that we do. I'm actually doing a program this afternoon with a local author, Valerie Clarizio, who happens to be the treasurer and financial officer for Sturgeon Bay. And she writes romance novels. So you're welcome to join us at 4 o'clock. She wrote her latest romance novel is set in the finance office of Sturgeon Bay. So it's a really fun series of books. And then I have to promote my programs. We do have one coming up, TAP, Third Avenue Playworks. Jacob Jensen comes over and does a play reading group, which is fascinating. We do have this on Zoom and in person. And the next one we're doing is a Pulitzer Prize winning play, Alice in the Tropics, about lectors, which I had never heard of. In Cuban cigar companies, these men would read books and articles to the workers. So if you're interested in that, we're doing that on Zoom, and you're welcome to join us. And then we're having a world religions class coming up starting in March. So have a look at our library website for some of the programs, and many of them are on Zoom and in person. Also, people do meetings in the library all the time. But you can have meetings from home if you have high-speed internet and talk to your family members all over the world. Another library service that's for the whole state of Wisconsin is called BadgerLink. And a lot of the library websites filter the BadgerLink links through their websites, but you can go straight to BadgerLink, just Google BadgerLink. And some of the things that they have there are elementary school, middle school, high school, and educational resources like dictionaries and all sorts of newspaper and magazine databases. Excuse me. A really fun thing is the auto and small engine repair manuals. And let's see if this comes out. It's a little bit. You might have to change how you change. Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with my throat, but here is an example of the auto repairs, and this is open to anyone in the state. If you have a library card, you can get in really easily, but if you don't, it still lets you contact them, and you can go through and find your model you're making, and all sorts of diagrams and instructions on repairing the item. Also, they have now small engine repair. So if you have a problem with your lawnmower or any of these types of small engines, they have all sorts of instructions on how to repair those things too. So it's a really neat, really neat resource for anyone who has internet. And you're welcome to come in the library and use these resources, but if you have internet at home, you can do them from home also. Another one that is really helpful is called Consumer Health Complete, and it has all sorts of drug information, magazine articles, and all sorts of high-end information for anyone interested in health issues. A lot of times, if you just Google it, you'll get all sorts of terrible, non-accurate information, but this way you know for sure that you're getting the right kind of information. There's also, I have my favorite page is the history genealogy research page, which I'll mention later on. And then a couple of our big resources are the apps that the library provides. The whole state of Wisconsin provides the Libby by Overdrive app, and that's called the Wisconsin Digital Library. Other states have the same thing. And so if you're lucky to have a house in Florida or go to Florida, you can add 2 libraries of Wisconsin and the Florida library to the same app on your phone or your device, or you can log in through a computer. Again, let me show you this quickly. This is the Libby website.
We can see that.
Yeah.
Because then you're still showing the PowerPoint.
Oh, I apologize. Well, let me say this, that, yeah, I didn't realize that. I apologize. The little just goes there and then to that. Yeah. I didn't think of that ahead of time. So if you're interested, I have brought a whole lot of brochures here. And it has a lot of information about some of these resources in the brochures. So I hope you'll pick those up. So Libby is an app that can be downloaded on Apple and Android phones. And also for Kindle Fire, for some reason, they don't allow Overdrive Libby app to be downloaded, but there are workarounds. So if you have a Kindle Fire, let us know. We can help you get the Libby app on there. Or if you have a black and white Kindle tablet, you would do a different process, which is downloading, taking the app and sending it to Amazon, and then Amazon sends it to your Kindle device, which is the black and white ones, because they don't use apps. But if you have an iPhone or an Android device, you can download this app. And this app, Libby, has millions practically of books, audiobooks, ebooks, and then over 4,000 magazines. So it's a great source if you don't want to have to pay a lot for magazines, to just check a few things that way. So I'd recommend going to the website and having a look at what's available there. And as I say, if you ever need help, I love to help people with these things.
And I love to send people to Laura.
Hoopla is another one, that is my favorite, and in the state of, in the case of Libby, that's the whole state of Wisconsin, so you're competing with other people in the state, and they license one book per person. So you may want a brand new book that everyone wants, and you'll have to wait a while for it. But, they do have a huge number of books. Hoopla, on the other hand, libraries sign up for independently. So Door County Library has a Hoopla account and you can check out 5 items a month, but you never wait. So if you're in a book group and they're all reading a book that's on Hoopla, for example, Door County Reads, the Raft of Stars is available on Hoopla as both an ebook and an audiobook. Everybody can check it out at the same time and you don't wait for it. So that's a really nice advantage for book groups. And besides the ebooks and audiobooks and comics, they have some movies, they have TV shows, a lot of the British mysteries that everyone loves so much. They have music albums, and they have binge passes, which are my very favorite thing. With the videos, you check them out for 3 weeks. With the books, you check them out, so videos are 3 days, the books are 3 weeks, and the binge passes are 1 week. But if you check out a binge pass for great courses, you can watch anything in there for a week. And if a lot of people in Door County have purchased great courses, they can be $60 and that sort of thing. Here you have the entire collection at your fingertips for the week. You can check it out another week if you still have checkouts left. And it just hundreds of classes. Now, in this case, you can't download them. With Libby and many Hoopla books, you can download them to your phone in the library with high-speed internet. But with these great courses and the Curiosity Stream, and then a lot of kids binge passes, you have to stream them. So you would need a high-speed internet for that. Now, I made a brand new brochure over there of the binge passes because I love them so much. I personally used to subscribe to Curiosity Stream before they put it in Hoopla, because I love documentaries. And it's just got tons and tons of documentaries from people like Attenborough, and all sorts of, one that really struck me was, about a young man, what's he called? I forget now. I had no idea how these YouTubers were, gaining popularity, and it's all about Mr. Beast is his name. And this documentary taught me all about how this kid started as a small kid and gained followers by giving away things. So that he started giving away thousands of dollars and on, and now he's the highest paid YouTuber. It's pretty strange. I'm trying to understand the future, the lower generations, the different generations. But that was fascinating. And then there's one I love called Particle Stream, which is about CERN and how they started their collider. And you have so many young, enthusiastic scientists. It's really inspiring. So I just love Curiosity Stream, but all of these are available for no charge with a binge pass from Hoopla.
Is there a limit to
5 checkouts a month,
Okay.
but if a binge pass lets you have the entire bunch of videos or the great courses, like there's great courses. Is anyone here ever use the great courses? They are available independently in the library catalog, but for example, when we have the big seat kickoff on March 20th, I have a little brochure made where there's great courses on plants, and one of them is the University of Wisconsin professor who does a series of classes on plants. So that type of thing is in there. You name it, everything in there, even sheds, all sorts of, knitting or whatever, but then also college classes from high-end universities. So that's a really, really nice thing to have available to you. And then finally, local history and genealogy, my favorite thing in my job. We have our Door County newspaper archives. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to look at it. We digitized the newspapers for Door County going back to 1862, the first ones, on through the end of 1979. So a lot of you are probably in there. And I have a really nice brochure. Again, people spend hours and hours reading those old articles. They're so fascinating. And you can come and do it here in the library. You're no longer stuck in front of a microfilm reader going page by page. You can search on key terms. Keep in mind the computer translated the scratch marks on the page into letters, so it's not always perfect, but it's very, very good. People are using it all the time now for, you see it mentioned in books and on Facebook pages on history. It's really, really fun. One of my favorite things was reading about my great-grandfather, who was in Green Bay, came up on a ship in about the 1870 with a group of Germans, and they went and saw the canal being built. Another one, he talks about how you can, they said, Albert Wise, a good friend of this city, told us how to deal with frostbite. Get a barrel of barley and put your hand in it. So many fun things in there. So I highly recommend people having a look at that. You can just go to doorcountynewspapers.org or look on the library website and get the link. But also if you're doing genealogy or local history, there's a whole bunch of links on our website for all sorts of resources that we use all the time. And a lot of people are doing land research, like when they're building this quick trip or this fleet farm. I've had people come in doing research on the land and the history of the land. So people always want to know about their houses, all sorts of things. So we have tons of links on our website for that. And anyone who's done genealogy knows it's a black hole. If you get started, you can't stop. One thing leads to another. The library does have access to newspapers.com library edition, which you can use from home through Badger Link. And then in the library, we have ancestry.com library edition. So you don't have to pay the high prices. Some other ones through Badger Link are the Heritage Quest and Archive Wisconsin Newspapers, which other state newspapers. And I think that's about it. So anyone have questions? I hope you'll help yourself to some of these brochures that are brought in up here. There's one on Hoopla I made maybe for tourists because it shows all sorts of books in Hoopla that are about their county. For example, the Skulka books, the mystery books, and some of those types of things are in there. Anyone have questions? Tracy, do you have anything to add?
Not really. I was on genealogy. I've recently connected with a distant cousin, so I've used a lot of the genealogy resources as well. And there's more I want to use because it's like you said, it's a black hole. You can just keep finding and finding and finding things. So it's been really great and fascinating. And yeah, the newspapers, I use that all the time. If people have questions, the newspaper archives are fantastic and easy to use and find things.
And there was a genealogy group up in Sister Bay Library that would meet and help people, and then they met once a month or something, but they helped people once a week. But during COVID, they had to close down, and I started with some of the members from the north moved to Sturgeon Bay, and so with them, I started a Zoom genealogy meeting during COVID. And that was a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with it. But now what we're going to do next month is combine the Sister Bay group. They're going to meet in the Sister Bay Library and we'll meet in Sturgeon Bay and we'll have various people on Zoom joining in. So if you have any interest in genealogy or local history, join us there. It's the first Thursday of the month at 2 o'clock. And we actually have people who are related to Door County people. It's not just Door County genealogy. Of course, everyone has people from all over, but we have people from North Carolina joining every single month because she's related to someone from Sister Bay who founded Sister Bay and that sort of thing. So we've had people from Texas. It's a lot of fun and that's all done. You can join in with Zoom. You don't have to drive from Sturgeon Bay or Sister Bay down to Sturgeon Bay. It's really nice. So, anyone have any questions or comments? Yes.
What did you say the author was from your office?
Today,
The finance office.
Valerie Corizio, and it's on the library calendar. We put the Zoom links there.
Okay,
And you see if you can log into the calendar, you'll see there's a little thing saying, click here for the Zoom link, or I'm trying to start to put the codes right there in the middle of the page too. But,
Do you happen to remember how to spell her name?
yeah. I just bought a bunch of her books too. Clarizio. Yeah, she's a feisty person. Someone compared her to Janet Ivanovich, but I just read the one book. And that was fun. And then, as I say, I have the play one. Anyone's welcome to join that. That's really neat. Jacob Jansen from PAP is so enthusiastic. Really, really fun. And there's so much theater around our county that it's fun to be able to read and discuss plays. So,
Does anyone use Hoopla or Libby currently? Couple of us.
Yes, I do.
well, good.
And what's nice is I don't, so, he gets 5 passes and then he gets my 5.
There you go.
So he gets 10.
10's a good amount.
You can
yeah.
burn those 5 pretty
Oh, yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
If I may plug the library, you should see the current exhibit at the Miller. It's incredible, just incredible.
And Sturgeon, yeah,
It's Sturgeon Bay.
it's like a bonus when you go to the Sturgeon Bay Library, dip into the mill.
Yeah,
But this current exhibit is fantastic.
What is it right now?
I know.
he's a sort of mechanical farm pictures, you could say, right? What would you call it? I don't remember the name.
It's
But
called Horizon Lines, but it really is, it's about way more than, mechanical, agricultural mechanical machines. It's about death and
And the
decay.
people, yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I found it a little disturbing. And it, again, when I read these old Door County articles, there were so many people who had hard lives on farms in Door County in the old days. It reminds me of
depicts
that.
It is disturbing,
Yeah,
disturbing death and decay.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, I guess that's it for us,
All right.
but please help yourself to these brochures.
Hey, this is Kurt, and I just want to say how grateful I am to all of our presenters, but I'm especially grateful for the library staff to be there. They are the absolute best deal in town. There is no question. So thank you all, but really thank you both, Tracy and Laura. I really appreciate you coming out and helping us today and showing us the value, as Wayne said so eloquently, of having broadband access. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and you know, you don't have to subscribe to Netflix or all of those, or Prime if you get Hoopla and have multiple people in the family. They have movies there too. So that's another advantage to Hoopla. I really like Hoopla a lot.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that information with us. And one last ask, does anybody have any questions or comments about things we learned here today?
If you need help with any of the apps, people call all the time. I didn't bring my cards, but call the Sturgeon Bay Library and ask for me, and I'm happy to try to help you with the apps. I'm a senior, but I took the advantage when my kids were growing up to take classes on computers. And as a result, I got certified in A+, and it's served me so well these days, trying to translate all of this technology for seniors. So I'm really happy to help people.
All right. Well, one last big thank you to our presenters here today. And thank you to everyone for coming.
Thank you.
We'll be having another session, same time, same place next week, Wednesday. And that will be with Nathan of Quantum Technology. He's in the crowd here today. And he's going to be presenting on what the installation process is going to look like. And you can save all of your burning technical details questions. He's the guy to answer.